It's Grow the Heck Up.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy John Keith.
What's poppin', man? It's your brother Illuminate, aka the Blessed Coast Secret, man.
Yo, what's going on? This is Ruslan from King's Dream Entertainment.
What it do, what it is, it's your man Triple D, aka Dayton, representing God over money in the Menace movement. And you're now tuned in to CHHTS Sports. Yeah.
Greetings to the four corners of the earth. Once again, it's Coach Harv here at Seek1st Sports, right here from CHHTS. Shout out to CHHTS. If you guys are not following us yet, make sure you guys are following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that good stuff. And as some of you guys probably see right now, I think you guys are in for a treat this evening. Special guest. I'm all about connecting. Anyone that's heard anything from Seek1st and Towels to any of the segments that we do, there will be baseball on Seek1st Sports. So you guys know that I love music. Had Syntax a Terrific on. Had Riggs here just, about a week ago. So I love connecting. I believe we're at a time where there's some scattered bones that are going to be connected and brought back together again, and sinews and flesh one day, and one day the spirit life back into that thing too. So I'm all about connecting. That's why you hear me talk about the four corners of the earth, because I think he has people everywhere, different shades, colors, sizes, all that good stuff. And I'm thankful to be among them. And I'm thankful to have someone here that I probably ran into her music about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5, through a couple other connections we may end up speaking about this evening. But a daughter, a mother, a wife, and an artist. And when I say artist, it's not just an MC, multifaceted filmmaking, photography, art teacher, inspires the youth. I see it in some of the things that she does on her Instagram as well. So we do have AI in the building. And if you haven't heard Severed Threads yet, it's the most recent album that she has dropped. She does have something new coming as well for you guys. But Severed Threads for me, also many layers that I think are defined in the things that I just mentioned on being a daughter, a mother, a wife, and also an artist. And all in, I know is one of the things for AI, but I want to hear that from AI to all the listeners. Who is AI? And thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate you and the support that you've always shown from day one. Man, it's really good to be able to just talk, kind of express myself and just allow people to kind of get a kind of eye into who I am. It's always interesting. I don't like spotlights. I don't like to talk about myself really. But sometimes people want to know, like, well, what's going on behind this this image that we see. So AI stands for all in. And I really look at my life and like, honestly, everything that I do, I just want to do it at the best of my ability, man. So I go all in every facet of my life. So whether it's me being a wife, me being a mom, me being an educator, working with young people, me being a businesswoman, I just really seek to educate myself. And like, I'm hungry to learn whatever I need to learn in order to do everything to the best of my ability. I'm not perfect. I'm striving towards perfection. So, I fall, I stumble, but I try to get back up and do what it is that I am here to do. So that's basically what all in is about, what AI is about. Like, whenever you see me, whatever it is that I'm doing, just know that I'm trying to do the best that I can so that others can see it, and really to try to inspire other people. Like, be the best. Like, don't slack. Do what it is that you need to do. If you do slack at times, because we do, like, get back up and get it popping. Make moves, make moves and basically do the best that you could do, man. Go all in.
Absolutely. And I think that's important. Anyone that has heard Severed Threads, for me, I try to get to the heart of the music. I'm a person that listens to words. I'm a person that's into the details. I know that other people are. Some people hear the beat of music first. I was always that kid that heard words like, oh man, that beat is whack. And I'm like, but did you hear what he said though? You know what I mean? I was that dude. So for me, when I listen to Severed Threads, just the title of the album itself, Severed Threads, for anyone that hasn't heard the album, for anyone that has, could you explain that to them when you talk about severing threads? What are you severing? What are you cutting off? And then what are you replacing that with as well?
So just starting off with like, yo, man, even as I'm talking about this, I'm thinking about what's going on in my life right now, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. But yo, like I was the daughter to a mother who abused drugs. When I was 14 months old, me, my sister, and my brother were placed in a foster care because of neglect. And when I turned 3, my mother died from an overdose. So my beginnings were already looking crazy. Most people consider me a failure to thrive. And so because of these things, because of this abandonment, this neglect, this feeling of like what's my purpose? Why am I here?
Right.
No self-esteem, began to develop these habits. So I didn't really connect with people. I didn't know how to express my emotions. I had a hard time just connecting in life, and I made some silly decisions, and it created habits. So I didn't really want to have extended relationships. I feared that, whoever it was would just leave. So I kind of pushed back. So that is a lonely place to be. You feel me? So
right, yes.
Just being lonely, not being able to trust people. These things kind of hold you back, and they create these barriers. And I looked at these barriers and these habits as these threads that are wrapped around you and holding you and tying you down. And those habits that exist can lead to certain, just a certain darkness within you, just holding you back. So, and then when you realize, like, yo, man, like, I have trust issues, I got this problem, I got that problem, this is holding me back, this doesn't feel good. Well, okay, well, let me try to, get better at this. It didn't work out. Let me try to hide this issue with this. Let me try to cut at this problem with this. Nothing was working. Like, I used to smoke weed. Like, I used to try to, just do different things, and it just never worked. And I knew about God. I knew about God. I was raised in the church, but never really understood how to have a relationship with God. So when I came to a certain point, I'm like, man, like, none of this stuff is working, dude. I got all these threads, all these habits, all these issues. What I'm supposed to do? The only other option was God, because even though I turned my back on him, I knew that ultimately he was the only stable one that ever existed in my life.
Right, and continue. It seems like. Right, and continuously pursues as well.
Exactly. He was always there. I'm the one that left. And he ultimately is the one that can cut away at those threads. And when I could have said cut threads, but see, sever is like to try to destroy. And when you see something that's severed, it's not complete. Sometimes it is, but it's not completely torn. It has these frail pieces. Some stuff is connected. And if you saw the graphic for the cover, you can see all of these ropes are connected, and some of them are frail and some of them are cut. And that just is an example of how, like, yo, I'm working, I'm cutting at this stuff. I'm allowing God to cut at these things. And I still have these little small issues here and there. I still have these scabs and these bruises and these pains, but I'm pushing, man. I'm praying, I'm pushing, and I'm persevering through it. So that's kind of like the idea behind Severed Threads,
Wow.
And then, obviously, I'm talking about my biological mother. I had to face the fact that I never mourned her. I never mourned my mother growing up. I started to mourn her as I got older. So it was also that, like, unraveling these emotions to try to push through it and get past it. Like, okay, I lost my mom. That hurts. It's okay to cry. It's okay to lean on somebody. Like I had my husband to lean on. I allowed myself to be held and comforted, you know, not only by God, but by my husband. And so it was just a whole journey, that project, man. It was a whole journey, dude. And I've grown so much. I've grown so much just allowing myself to be open and vulnerable with that project, man.
Man, I definitely see it. I think there's one, and I think I told you and Josh, your husband, about this. Is Journal Entry 3, man. When I heard it, I started it at the beginning, and I got to this track, Journal Entry 3, and I probably played it about 5 or 6 times in a row. I'm not going to ask you to talk about every record, but can you speak to that? Because when you said your mom's name as many times as you did,
Bruh, let me tell you, man. I was in my basement. Like, I had my basement set up for recording down there. I spent a lot of time down in my basement working on that project. I spent a lot of time in a room, closed door, had my little red light on, and I kind of had to force myself sometimes to face the fact that, like I said, I did not mourn my mother. I had to do it. Yo, it's so important to release certain emotions so that you can get past it. Not saying like I'm not hurting anymore. Yo, I hurt. The other day I was thinking about my biological mother. Excuse me. And I got emotional. And in that moment I knew that I grew because I allowed myself to get emotional. Yo, that's okay. It's okay. But sitting in that basement, man, in like just writing what was on my heart. Oh, it was tough. And then I said my mother's name. I broke down because in a name like, yo, Laura, like you're beautiful. You were someone. You wanted so much more. And I learned more about her too. Like, I would talk to my biological family and they would tell me different things about her. And I learned that, like, yo, I'm so much like her. She was into puzzles. She went to Buff State College. Like, I realized she went to college and she was a writer. And she wrote a piece that was accepted in a magazine. And she was an actress. She would, my uncle, her brother, would write plays, and he's still a playwright. He's alive, and I have, you know, I communicate with him. But he was a playwright at a young age, and she would act out his pieces. She was like thrive. You know what I mean? She was beautiful. She was a woman who wanted in her life, but she was broken. She was in pain. She had things that were going on inside of her that she didn't know how to express, perhaps. And I began to discover this woman, Laura. And so when I said her name, it was almost like a release. And I'm not trying to say it like some kind of atmospherical blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It was like a release, like Laura, like I feel you, like mom, you know, like you're my mother, regardless of whatever it is that you did, whatever choices you made, you're my mother and I love you. And if she was sitting right in front of me, I would tell her that, like, yo, I love you. Where you are, whatever you've done, I love you. Like, you know, you're a beautiful woman. And yeah, man, saying her name helped me. So in there, because it was hard for me to say her name at first, I kept saying it. And I said, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to just keep it like, you know, I'm going to keep it like this, dude.
Man, I definitely feel like that time down in that basement and saying her name, I felt it in that song. And I think it's definitely one that if you haven't heard that album, go listen to that song, especially after hearing that. And without even hearing that, it touched me in a way because we're all connected in some way. I even think of things like Act 17 about he's made of all nations and one man and after they might feel after him and all that. But my mom lost her mother when she was 12 years old. And her prayer was, and it's crazy because I just got back from vacation in Maryland. Her prayer was always that she had grandchildren and she was a part of their lives because her mother wasn't there to be a part. So
Right.
that is probably part of the connection, I'm sure. But I definitely felt that there. And you alluded to this earlier, and I actually want to go there now. Get Focused Productions is your business.
Right.
You do a lot of things under Get Focused Productions, but just was it last night or yesterday? We got some great news. Ignite Buffalo, 477 applicants,
Oh my God.
477 down to 27, and you're still being considered to pitch Get Focused Productions for a good amount of funding for your business.
Like,
correct?
dude, like, yo, yo, man, I swear I am in awe of what God is doing. Like, man, like I just said, I'm a daughter to a mom who abused drugs while I was in her womb. I lost her at 3. I was considered a failure to thrive. I got kicked out of a school when I was in 6th grade. Like, I had behavioral issues, and growing up was tough. You feel me? And it's just interesting how I looked at myself as nothing. I really looked at myself as nothing.
Wow.
I even accepted, like who am I? Like, I'm this little old girl sitting in my room. I remember sitting in my room. I must have been like 10 or something, like telling God, you know, God, I forgive you. I forgive you for creating me. I know I'm your only mistake. Like I could just imagine God saying, like, man, you don't even know, little self. But I forgave God for creating me because I felt that strongly about being a mistake. I just really felt like, okay, when I entered into the world, like, my mom's life just fell apart. It's happening, and like, if it wasn't for me existing, all of this stuff that was going into this young mind, I never knew the story. I did not know that, like, here it is now. Like, look at my life. This is insane. Here it is now. Like, photography helped save my life. Like, it really did. I was part of a program that offered alternatives for youth, one of which was photography. I learned about photography and film, and I fell in love with the ability to stop time. I fell in love with the ability to take images and words, put them together, create stories, and to think beyond. And I knew that, yo, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And so from a teenage mind, I came up with the idea of Get Focused Productions. Me and my friend, actually, we were like, wanted to be rappers. I was like, yeah, I want to make a business. It's going to be called Get Focused Productions. And everybody, like, focused, and we just going to do this, and we're going to make money. And like, that name stuck with me as I got older, and it developed into this business where I offer photography and film services and digital arts programming for young people. But to get to the point here, I entered into this grant competition, not knowing what was going to happen. Like, yo, I'm going to just enter in and see what happens. I put my heart into that application. Josh stayed up with me, and I entered in. It was like 477 applicants. I was one of the 50 that got selected of the 477. I'm like, what? That's crazy. And I was excited with just that. Like, yo, I got selected. That's cool. So out of the 50, I had to pitch my business. I had to tell my story, and I had to, just tell them what I would do with the money. Yo, like, I need equipment. I need to teach more young people. I need to be in front of more young people. And yo, I left that spot. What's today? Tuesday? I left that spot yesterday. I just pitched my business yesterday in front of 10 judges. Wow. I had to pitch my business for 2 minutes. They asked me questions for 5 minutes. I walked out of there like, yo, it's in God's hands, like, whatever, They called me last night. Like, how do you think you did? I said, I think I did pretty good, I gave it my all. And they said, you must have, because you're one of the 27. I was like, yo.
That's wow.
What are you doing to me, God? What are you doing? So, man, if you're selected as one of the 27, you're guaranteed $25,000 for your business, dude.
Wow. So that's in the bag already.
Like, what is going on? This young girl, like, started for nothing. Like, God, what are you doing? But I understand what he's doing. Like, yo, you remember Joseph? You remember
In
all
the
the stuff
dungeon.
he went through?
Yes.
But he stayed focused. He knew, he kept his heart on what it was that God wanted in his life. He had this dream. He saw it. And like, yo, I swear I just want to do what it is that God wants me to do. Like following the path, following what he wants me to do. That's the safest lane for me. I'm one of the 27. Tomorrow night, I'm going to go there and find out if I'm one of the 7. And then if I'm one of the 7, I pitch again, possibly $50,000 to $100,000. Like, and honestly, yo, and Josh be like, man, you go for it, go, you get the bag, whatever, and that's cool. But yo, at this moment right now, I got $25,000. That's enough for me. Like,
wow,
I swear I can make a difference with just that right there.
Man.
If I get more, that's what's up. But yo, I'm just grateful to be at this position, dude. I'm like, yo, I don't know. I'm just excited.
I mean, just as another set of eyes, listening to some of the story, listening to your music, seeing the stuff you're doing with art, and I mean, your son just this weekend was at some. I saw it on IG. I was on vacation, so I missed it. But what was your son was? He had like bracelets and necklaces and all kind of stuff. What was that he was doing? Because I know he has he's the little art ninja, right?
Yo, I'm not playing games out here, man. I'm trying to teach my son and my daughter everything that I know, so that they can be set up. Listen, I tell my children, I tell all my kids. I got 2 birth children. And all them kids in the neighborhood, all them kids in this community, those my kids too. I tell them, let my ceiling be your floor. Everything that I know, I'm going to try to pour it into my children so that they can go beyond, think beyond, go further, thrive. So every opportunity that I see, I am going to set my son up and my daughter up so that they can make moves, go make changes, do what it is that you need to do. We got one life to live out here. One, you better do what it is that you need to do to the maximum of your potential and just make moves. So my son, since he was younger, like, he always wanted to like be a leader. I could just see a little leader in him. And he wants to be an architect. And he wants to be a businessman and all of these things. So I said, hey, here are your tools. And so he dipped and dabbed in a lot of different things, but he really likes to make money. I said, hey, here's this opportunity. So there's this organization that's connected with Buffalo State College that I graduated from, got my master's from, and they have this thing called Kid Biz Market. And so there's these students from 3rd grade to 6th grade who, like, you can get some old books from your closet, some old clothes, or you can make things or whatever, but you learn how to sell your products and you sell them to the public. And so he makes buttons, bracelets, and sketchbooks, and he sells them. And he, got to present yourself right. And he was out there last weekend. Yo, my boy made over $250. I'm proud of that boy. I said, wow. Now you got to figure out how to set aside some of that money. He ready to go buy snacks. I said, nah, we're going to put some of that money in the bank. You're going to put some of that money into the church. And then you're going to try to think of how much money you're going to spend per week. And I was like, I'm the bank. Put that money in here. And if you need some money, you got to come to the teller and ask me.
So Mama's the bank, huh?
Yeah.
I think the more and more, at least as I hear it, I mean, you see why you're at a place right now where you're you have some money now to do some of the things that you wanted to do, that you have a
Right.
desire to do. So that time in the basement and that time thinking, oh, I'm not really anything. We know that he gives grace to the humble, right? He has
Man.
to base the proud. So I think from listening, I mean, that it's amazing how those principles speak, right? You
Right.
pour your heart and your life into your children and children around you in your community. I don't think that you can help but be blessed doing that, especially if you have a heart to do it. And I experience it similarly with the young ones that I coach, where I look at myself as a big brother to them. You know what I mean? I've been places that they want to go, uh, and they're trying to get there, whether it's a good experience or a bad experience. Because at the end of the day, I can probably tell you how not to do something too, and you don't have to go through all the same doors I did. So I think that that's the beauty in hearing your story, especially how it started and seeing where it is now. I know that that joy inside is really an unspeakable joy that I only get in a measure, but you're living through that and experiencing it. I what a God we serve, right? At the end of the day,
It's amazing, right? Like when I like, is this my wife? Like, what is this? It's crazy. It's amazing at how God works. From like that's my story and everything, and that's just a little. That's little.
right?
But if you look at how God works and you allow him to be God, like even within ourselves, if you look at the human body, how cells work, how everything is coordinated, how everything is almost like it's perfect. Like how everything works together, the heart, the mind, your muscles, all of these things. If you look at the universe and just how everything just works and is coordinated in such a way, it's like how intricate he is. And then, like, I don't know, I could get crazy with this, but just looking at my life, like, yo, what an interesting story that you crafted, God. And it's my story. Like,
Absolutely.
thank you. Like how beautiful it is that you decided that you would choose me to showcase your who you are, your beauty. Like, I'm the canvas, and I'm like, yo, paint whatever you want. I'm gonna follow you because that's the safest lane. Like, I don't need nothing I don't need anything right now. I don't need nothing else. He is, and that's enough. I swear, he is, and that's enough. I've been through a lot, yo. I've had nothing, dude. Back when it was just me and my son, before I met Josh, like, yo, I know what it is to not have nothing in your bank account and you trying to figure out, like, yo, should I eat or should I just get my, like you scrambling, you trying to figure it out,
Right.
know what that,
Either
feels like.
pay this bill. Either pay this bill. I know.
Right. Like, yo, and you struggling and trying to do what it is that you the best thing you know how, and you're trusting God through it all. Like, God, like, I don't have anything, but I know you got everything. And you look at, like, the Bible, it's scriptures talk about looking at the birds, the birds, looking at the insects, looking at all of these things in nature. They need for nothing. Everything is there for them. How much more will he do for us?
Man,
just trusting
absolutely.
in that. Trusting in that. It's just, that's a scary route, but such a beautiful route.
It's true. It's true. And I'm going back to something you said earlier. You were talking about how you didn't really want to be around people and make connections. And I know that you made tons of connections. And one of them more specifically is rebel against the world. And I say that just because I know Zadok is from Buffalo as well. How did that come about? Because I know Zadok's a part of it. I know there's other brothers and sisters that are involved, but I knew you were one of the first ones. I remember Zadok mentioning you on one of his periscopes one day. So how rebel against the world happened?
Yo, man, we always been around in Buffalo. Yo, we all been rapping for a long time. Everybody in the crew been rapping. We've all seen each other, you know what I mean? And Zadok, he really wanted to just pull, like, what's the point? You over there, you over there. we always coming together to support each other. Like, yo, let's come together, and we
Right.
like-minded individuals. You know, we might not all have this, you know, specific same ideologies, but we all have that concrete faith in God, like, yo,
Right.
you know, in Jesus Christ. So, yo, like, let's come together and support each other. And I was definitely down for that. So yeah, we're just a group of individual artists who come together and support each other the best way that we can. Yo, those are my brothers, yo. I love them boys, man. They really support me. They really lift me up. And they really, like, they treat me like a sister. Not even treat me like a sister. I'm their sister, like, period. Like, they look out for me just as well as I look out for them. Like, those are my brothers. So yeah, man, it's we Buffalo for life.
Gotcha. So I wouldn't have even known that if I didn't ask, because you always assume there is this big thing that went into you guys, a crew coming together or people being on the same label, and it just happens that you guys have always been around each other and said, heck, let's just do it together now. And it just makes me, because I know Buffalo is pretty close to Toronto, because I've seen you guys in Toronto doing stuff. I know Jubex and some other artists are out in Toronto as well. Before you started with Get Focused Productions and Severed Ties, Severed Threads, and all that, were you already going to Toronto and touring, going back and forth doing music then?
No. To be honest with you, like, so I have my son. I was always rapping, like, you know, around 13 years old. I was rapping. I was always into words, using words to express myself. So I was always rapping. As I got older, I saw, like, Zadok and some other crews together. I was like, oh, okay, that's dope. Like, they rapping about God. That's what's up. Like, that's what's up. I could do that, you know. Excuse me. So when I had my son, because I used to rap, like, I used to street rap, right? I used to battle, like, grown people in different places, and like, battle raps and stuff like that. And I thought I was sweet, right? Like, I thought I was killing it out there. And I was, in a sense. But I always looked at rap and hip hop as, like, this aggressive, like, hardcore, because that's where I, you know, came from. So when I was pregnant with my son, I made the decision to, like, give my all to God. And I felt that I couldn't rap anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I can't rap anymore. Like, I got to give that up because, you know, I'm rapping about this, and that. I'm like, I got to leave that alone. But, like, I always wanted to express myself. And it wasn't that I was talking about real crazy stuff. I did have a period where I was talking about some crazy stuff. But mostly I wanted to encourage people. Mostly I wanted to enlighten people. I always wanted to ignite change. And so that part of me, like, always would flare up every once in a while, and I'm writing raps. I'm like, man, I can't really do nothing with this. But then, like, I heard about Truth and Ambassador, and I saw, like, rappers in Buffalo rapping about God, and I'm like, yo, man, that's dope. And I just started getting into it. I forgot where I was going with this, but basically, I when I linked up with Zadok, he was talking about a group, and this is even before Raw. There was other groups that was forming. I think Raw is the one that really, like, stuck. Like, we was like, we're gonna stick together. And I was like, yo, I wanna do this. I wanna be serious about this thing. Like, I really wanna rap about Christ. I really wanna, you know, put my all into this. He was like, yeah, yo, let's go. And so, you know, that he formed a group or whatever. And I just, if it wasn't for Raw, if it wasn't for my husband, I wouldn't be doing this. I really wouldn't. They were really encouraging, because my mind was on just taking care of my kid and going to school. I was, like, in school. Like, I ain't got time to be writing raps.
And you were still doing the business aspect, though?
Yeah, I was doing that. It was more so on the side. I didn't really have time to put into it yet. And so I I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I really want to pursue like putting some music together because I couldn't help it. I'm always writing music. Like, what am I supposed
Right.
to do? Like, I
Right.
got to do it. Like, you know.
And you actually have a new song coming too. All that leading up to this Friday. Actually, it's a couple of days before this Friday. You're gonna be dropping a new song,
Yeah.
titled "Mommas." I know it's been teased a little bit here and there online. Um,
Yeah.
how do we get here? You just said it yourself. Even aside from music, I can't do this anymore. I just need to be a mom. And you talked about not having time. All that stuff comes up in the song. So who's this for? I know they're gonna hear the song. They may even hear it before they see this, but what does that add up to? How'd you get here to Mommas that you're gonna be dropping here on Friday for us?
Oh, you know, I'm a mom, right? And all I can do is speak from that perspective. I don't know what it is to be a father. I don't claim that. Even when it was just me and my son, I never said, you know, I'm a father figure. Never could I be that. I can't. It's something about a mother. It's a beauty. It's an art form. The chameleon that we have to be. The changes that we have to go through just in that human being developing in our womb. Like there's organs growing inside of us. Like what is happening?
Wow, never
Cells
like that.
combining fingers, hands, like there is a human being growing in us. We're going through all sorts of crazy stuff. We're losing our minds as moms. And it's an art that's happening in my mind, you know. And I always thought that it was an amazing process. So I always felt like, and then every single mom is different, right? Every single mom goes through different stages in this. Some moms lose their children. They're still mothers. Some mothers can't take care of their children and they give them up. Some mothers are in certain circumstances. They're incarcerated. Some are widowed. Some are grandmothers taking care of their children's children. You know, so you have these different moms from different situations and scenarios. Right. I wanted to capture these different stories. So it started off as the art of motherhood, and I would go and I wanted to capture stories. And so I captured one story. My life got busy, and it came up again, the opportunity, and I'm listening to some music, and I'm like, yo, I need a song that I can clean up my house to, ride around, and feel uplifted as a mother. And I'm like, I wish somebody would come out with a song that like just like, yo, like power to the moms, like go do your thing, like be that mom, like feel like, yo, like I can, yes, that's what's up. That's me. That be me. And I said, well, hey, I guess I gotta make the song. So I started to, you know, listen to some music, and that song developed. And, you know, I really want to encourage moms, no matter what kind of mom you are, single, working 9 to 5, working that night shift, whatever it is. I wanted to create a song that, yo, we can rock to. And we can feel like, yeah, that's me. That's me. I'm working hard. I'm out here doing what it is that I need to do. Alongside that, I really want to capture these stories of motherhood. Like, you know, I want to find the incarcerated mother. You're still a mom. Like, what's good? Tell me. Talk to me. What would you want to say to your children?
Wow.
How you want to teach your child? I want to talk to that mom that had to give her children up. And you know, she's maybe she's fighting for her children. You know, her children are in foster care, or her children were adopted. Like, what is that for you? Because I think about my mother. We were in foster care. Like, what was that like for you? What happened? You know, did you want to fight for us? Did you fight for us? What was it like to not have your children with you? You know, I want to find those stories, and I want those stories to be told. Like, what is it to be that kind of mom? What is it to be a grandmother? You finished. You raised your children. Now here it is, you got grandchildren. and you know your daughter or whatever the situation is, either she can't take care of them or whatever the circumstances is, you're taking care of these other children. Like, what is that like for you? A mother who lost her child at any point, whether you lost your child while they were in your womb, you're a mom. What is that like? Talk to us. Tell us about that pain so we can share it to other women and other mothers who are dealing with that pain. What is it like to lose your child to violence as a mom? You know, what is it like to decorate a corner with teddy bears and T-shirts and flowers and to walk past that space as a mom? What does that feel like? You know, just like, what do you want for your children as a mother? I want to capture those stories, you know, through film, through photography, you know, so that's, you know, it's the song and that's cool, but it's so much more to that, you know, and that's why, like, I'm putting it out on Noise Trade. Noise Trade allows me to collect donations, and donations will help to go towards me, you know, trying to find those stories, filming those stories or what have you. Like I really want to just find these moms and like tell these stories and share them.
Man, and I think the world would be better for it too. And I dig the passion that comes along with that, because even just sitting here, if I would want to see it, you know what I mean? It's something where I wonder sometimes with my mom how it was for her not having her mom growing up when she lost her when she was 12. You know that in a measure because it happened to you. So to hear that from a mom's perspective, know this record is going to be dropping on Friday, July 13th, I believe, this Friday. It will be dropping, and that is essentially what I see at the end. That's why I actually started with the daughter when I introduced you, because I thought about Severed Threads. I was like, man, so you're a daughter first, and I cannot imagine in my mind at 3 years old losing my mother, and then to hear songs like Abandoned on Severed Threads, and you put yourself, I listen to words, I get into the music. I put myself into your shoes. Like, wow, that I don't know how I would have come out of that, and to see you and hear you where you are right now, man, amazing.
And I do want to say, I know a lot of times, like, I talk a lot about, you know, loss. You know, I lost my biological mother, but I gained a mom too. And a lot of times I don't get a chance to talk about that. You know, my adoptive mom, that's my mom, yo. Even her, like, she's such a strong woman. Like, I gained such a strong woman. Like, my adoptive mom, I'll say adoptive mom, but then I'll continue to call her my mom. But know that she raised 3 women. She adopted me, my sister, and my brother in her 50s and raised us the best way she know how. Like, we are not perfect. You feel what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't a perfect mother. Like, what is a perfect mom? What is a perfect parent? You know, she did things that, you know, I'm not necessarily happy with, but she did things that I am very happy with. And I'm glad that she did, putting us in front of these opportunities, always putting us into programs. And like, she put me in piano classes, and there's this place called Langston Hughes where we learned about ballet. Like, she knew that it was important to keep us busy. Yo, this woman, like, she's a fierce, strong, hardcore, firm, but soft and gentle at the same time. Like, I've learned a lot from this woman, and I don't think I would be who I am today if it wasn't for her. She's the one who introduced me to God. She took us to church. We was in church every day. Monday morning prayer, Tuesday night Bible study, Wednesday night prayer, like Kojic, hardcore to the max.
Hey, vacation Bible school. I remember all that, man.
Vacation Bible school.
Yes, I
getting
remember.
On the altar, getting saved 3-4 times. Like, dude, what is that? But bruh, like, she's a dynamic woman. She's been through a lot too. And the more that I get to know her, the more I see this gentle soul underneath all of that firm hardcore. she's really gentle and she's really loving. And I'm glad I'm able to develop a relationship with her. I try to spend every Monday with her. And just kind of just do whatever it is she need me to do. Like, what, you need me to wash the floor? Sure, I'll wash the floor. You need me to move this? Whatever she need me to do. Like, she's always been a strong woman. I think that's where I get that strength from too. So yeah, I never get to talk about her. Latifah Fareed, that's her name. And that's the strength behind who I am at the same time.
Wow. And so, I mean, and that's good that you did it, because that's something that I was drawn to, man, the loss and the story and what she had to go through. And to hear that, I'm glad that you were able to share that now, since you haven't been able to, because I'm sure everyone's going to grab at that. Man, what was that like? How did it go? What was your experience like? But to be able to share that, I'm definitely glad you were able to. And because I know that you like art, and you like music, and you have brothers that have been in the music, I just want to transition to a couple of things real quick.
Yeah, no doubt.
One, what is your what do you do for leisure? And then who's on your now playing list? You know what I mean? Because we all have our things, whether it's going out and getting away for the weekend or whatever.
What is leisure?
Right. When there is time.
When there is time, what do I like to do? Sleep. I enjoy sleep. Sleep is good when I can, get that in there. The real talk, like I guess I'm a nerd. Like in my leisure time, I'll probably just walk around and do some street photography, like capturing the world, or just like creating something, sitting down, chilling with my family, like hanging out with my daughter, and just doing things like that, like listening to music too.
Got you. So before the now playing, I have a question, because I always kind of wanted to ask for a person that was into photography for this, because if you're taking classes, you're in programs as a youth. Did you start out right away taking pictures of stuff that was appealing to you, or was it more technical, where this is how you take pictures, this is how it comes out? Was it that side that you fell in love? Because you see some people, they might be more into the developmental process, where it sounds like if you're going around taking pictures of stuff outside, you're looking for something specific to take pictures of.
Yeah. So what it was that really captured me was the dark room. The dark room, dude. Like, when I saw a blank piece of paper, listen, I'm 15. I'm from the hood. You know what I mean? Like, the lady told me that this blank piece of paper is going to have something on it. I'm like, man, if she don't go sit down somewhere talking this nonsense. She also showed me like a can. This woman from the program was SEPA Gallery. She showed me like a can, and she said the can was a camera. I laughed. Like, she lost her mind. A can is a camera? Remember, I'm 15. I'm from the hood, like, and I hate to say hood, but you know what I'm talking about. She showed me how I can capture an image with a can. Blew my mind. Took a picture with the can, went into the dark room. I took out the blank piece of paper, the photographic paper, and I started to put it into these chemicals, and I began to see images on there. I'm like, all right.
Hey, that's dope. That's dope.
All right, you got me. You got me. What else? Tell me more. Tell me more. And so that captured, like, that was magical for me. I never saw anything like that in my life. It was magic. I was like, wow, that's crazy. What else can I do with this? Then I began to understand, like, not only could I capture things, but I could tell stories behind the lens. So through the lens, I can see certain things, and I can translate those images into stories. And I love to tell stories. I love words. So I was able to take images and words, put them together. So that is what really took it to another level. And then I began from there, which is crazy, which the thing I like about photography is just a tool. I began to think beyond circumstances because we learned how to analyze photos. We learned how to look at a photo, right? We would look at a photo and to think beyond what we saw. So you might have a photo with somebody standing in the middle of a street. And our first attempt of describing that photo is like, I see somebody standing in the middle of the street. Like, okay, miss, that's all I see. That's it. Okay, so what else I got to do? And she would kind of push us like, well, what is this person standing in the street for? I don't know. They standing in the street. I don't know why they standing in the street, miss. Come up with something. Like, I don't know what to come up with. Create a story. All right, let me think. Okay, maybe this happened. That's why they're in the street. Then my mind like flew. Like, oh, I can make this person a character. Like, what if this happened and this happened? Now this and this and that. Like, yo, I started developing these stories for these photos that allowed me to think beyond my circumstances. Me stepping outside of my door, looking at drug houses in front of me, looking at drug houses next door to me. Before it was just normal. Then with this mind where I can think beyond the circumstances, why is there a drug house in my neighborhood? Why are the people in my neighborhood okay with this? Why is nobody doing anything about it? I don't want to see this going on. Well, can I change it? What can I do? And just thinking beyond certain circumstances, you know, like that's what did it for me. That's what did it for me. And then that's what I'm trying to do with young people. Photography is just a tool. The camera is just a tool. It's a weapon. Like Gordon Parks, one of a famous photographer, he used the camera as his weapon against racism. He would capture things and tell the stories behind certain images. Like, I'm trying to teach young people about this weapon of mass creativity, how you can use this tool and capture things around you and tell stories, but then think beyond circumstances. It's not just it's more than just your block. It's your city. It's more than just your city. It's your country. It's the nation. It's the world. Like, how can you touch different things in your life? You know what I mean? I just got a message that my battery's low. I haven't connected though.
Oh, you're all right.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
But yeah, that's what it's about.
Man, and again, that's when I hear the music, when I see what you're doing on social media, when I hear there was 477 applicants, now there's 27, and you're in that room, it doesn't surprise me. And I know that you don't take any credit for it. I know you don't think it's because you're great and look what I did. There's something inside you that was unlocked. You know what I mean? And it's a make sure you let us know. So it's tomorrow night that you might get to pitch again for that Night Buffalo thing.
Right. So it's tomorrow night. I can't believe I'm even, man. So it's tomorrow night. I get up there. I don't know what to expect. And you know, we'll find out tomorrow night, like who's the 7 that will pitch again. And if you're one of the 7, like I said, you either win $50,000 or $100,000. And not only the money, but you get to get connected with mentors. That's what I want. Because if you know anything about me, I want to be great. I want to do the best that I can. I want my business to be, you know, flawless in a sense. You know, I want to run a great business. I want to take what I've created here and hand it over to my children and say, here, this is clean. Develop it, make it grow, go from there. So that mentorship is going to be dope. Like, they connect you with people who are business savvy. They teach you how to connect and create partnerships and learn how to expand your business. So that's like really dope as well. So I'll find out tomorrow, and we'll see where the story goes from there. Like, I'm fine with where I am now. That's what's up. But you know, beyond that'd be crazy dope.
Definitely, we're definitely going to keep that lifted in prayer. So I'm not going to let you off the hook because I have to preface this by saying I'm not asking you to give you your top five or nothing. I'm just asking who's on your now playing list. Somebody you might be listening to right now. I'm listening to Seven's new album. I'm still listening to Taylor Gray. You know what I mean? That new Riggs is, I'm
Yes.
still bumping the masterpiece. Are you listening to anything in particular? Or again, I know you're a mom. I know you're doing the art thing.
I'm
You
so
might be
busy.
busy where you're not listening as much.
Oh, but I am listening. I mean, that Jackie Hill project is dope. That joint was dope. So Jackie Hill.
Lamentation.
Um,
Crescendo, right?
yeah, Crescendo. Savage joint is ridiculous. Like he's like the rap worshiper.
Man.
Like he worships God through his rap. Like it's just dope.
Man.
So he comes with that hardcore. Who else am I? I'm listening to a lot of different people. So that Taylor Gray's project was dope.
Yeah, love it.
Who else I got in there? And then I have to say, like, to be honest, in between that stuff, I'm like a jazz. I like jazz, and I got my old school Ella Fitzgerald, and got some Frank Sinatra in there, and those things are just always going to be classic to me. I'm trying to think. Oh man, some of these names, I'm terrible with names. I'm trying to think. Like, there's this duo, these two girls that rap. I think they're CHH. I'm not sure.
Oh, is it Brikane Kasari?
Yeah, yo.
Yes. Yep.
What in the world is happening in the world? Like,
man,
they're dope.
Yep. Already.
My friend Aisha. I don't know if you know Aisha.
I don't know if I do.
She's coming out with a project. It's gonna be dope.
I'll
so
be looking out for it.
She's definitely dope. Check her out. Yeah. So
man, I'm always trying to add to my list. You know what I mean? That's why I asked. Like, oh, I haven't heard her. I haven't heard him. Let me check him out.
And what I like about her is that, she loves God. She loves Christ. Christ is all in her music, and she speaks from that element. Like, that's what's up. And I feel that mostly about her. It's just like you said, like listening to the words, dude.
Absolutely.
She's dope. So she got a new project coming out. She's from Chicago, and I'm actually gonna be in Chicago for that Legacy conference for the kind of end of it. So she got a video.
Okay.
Nice. Real quick plug for my sis.
Already.
So she's dope. So yeah, man, I would honestly it's those questions are always interesting to me because I listen to a lot of music here and there.
Right. Same.
But off the top of my head, I'm like, who am I listening to right now? But definitely Riggs. His project was crazy, masterpiece. His project was good. I love it because it tells stories. I love stories. It takes you on a journey. So that journey is definitely dope.
Indeed. So let's finish with what's next for AI. We know we have Ignite Buffalo. Once that's kind of settled and we know what's gonna come of that, what's next, and then let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
Okay. So what's next? I got that song coming out on Friday.
Mommas dropping Friday.
I want to drop 2 more tracks for the summer. I got 2 tracks that are so summery. At the same time, I'm trying to put a message out, and I'm going into this space of I just want to make funky music, like jazzy kind of, something jazzy. But I had 2 more songs coming out, and I actually I finished I have a project finished that's going through the mixing process. So just looking to try to drop that as soon as I can. Being pulled in so many different directions, it makes it tough trying to stick to a certain schedule. So I'm hoping I can drop that in the fall sometime. I wanted to drop it in the summer, but it's gonna have to be the fall. But yeah, so that's what's next as far as music is concerned. And I'm just looking to build with other people as well, like You know, I
Gotcha.
want to connect and build with other people, create music, and create a bond, create some kind of connection.
For sure. And then let everyone know where they can find you. I know go AI Music on Instagram for sure.
Yeah, Go AI Music. That's music with a K. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I want to say that's it. And yeah, you can find me on those outlets. And you know, I'm on iTunes, Spotify. I'm working on trying to make it easier for people to find me because I found it difficult. So I'm trying to go into that system to try to see how you can find me, because there's several AIs.
Right. I think
you gotta type it in. Right now, you gotta type in severed threads in order to find a project.
That's what I did.
That's really unfortunate.
Agreed.
So I'm trying to figure that out. You know, I'm trying to figure out how to fix that. So yeah, you could definitely find me on all social media. If you were to, not all social media, but if you were to go to Instagram and go to my bio and click, everything pops up through Linktree.
Gotcha.
And you can click and find me on wherever the links to take you.
There you go. And I know it was a treat. And when this project drops on, this song drops on Friday again, we will have the Noise Trade link there. Go ahead and donate. Yeah, I know y'all heard the sister's heart this evening, at least evening for me and her, I believe. I know you've had a long day, sister. We're going to be praying for you. Yeah, blessings to you and the family. Josh, let them know I'll be in contact with them soon, and your son and your daughter. So blessings to you. I thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us. For sure, sister.
Thank you.
Blessings to you and your family.
All right, no doubt.
I'm tryna give it my all. I'm tryna live it and pivot, no tripping, no falls. I'm tryna pick up my cross. I'm tryna get it, I see it, no losses, yeah. I give it all for my darlings, darlings. Kids on the top, yeah. Legacy follow my God. Screaming I win for the Lord. Wide-eyed up in the morning. I'll be holding down, get the cornbread. Sun with the lens, recording. Little lady with the curls, gorgeous. That be me and my team, yeah. That be me and my league. That be me on my grind. That be me on my life, yeah. This is for the mamas on the grind, yeah. For the mamas with a lot up on the mind, yeah. For the mamas with the 3, 4, 5s, yeah. For the mama on her own, hold it down, yeah. For the mamas who be working 9 to 5, yeah. For the mamas who ain't never got time, yeah.